Are you looking to get a higher score on your next IELTS Task 2 writing? You've come to the right place. Hello, everybody. My name is Adam from IELTS Band Up, and I've made this lesson to make sure you get a higher score. I've made a step-by-step procedure for how you can write a problem solution essay. If you'd like more information about me or to get a PDF of everything in this lesson, check the information section. I can help you with your writing. Please check my email. But for now, let's get started. The problem solution is one of 6 different types of essays. Make sure you check the information section for how to write the other types of essays. But for today, let's focus on this topic and what kind of questions you can expect. Now, for the first question, in many regions, the number of trees is declining. What problems does this cause? And propose some solutions to stop trees being cut down. Well, basically, one paragraph would focus on why are trees being cut down, and the next one would focus on some solutions to stop this. Pretty straightforward. Another question would be, the rise in the use of technology leads to significant challenges regarding data privacy. Now, you are not allowed to disagree with this statement. Sometimes people think this is an opinion topic, and they might say, actually, people have lots of privacy. Maybe that's not your real thinking, but just be careful. You cannot, in a problem solution essay, you cannot disagree with this. You will answer the question poorly. Anyway, first body paragraph would be, what are the causes of this problems? And the second one would be, discuss possible solutions that could be taken by individuals and authorities, this means like the government, to protect personal information online. Okay? And here is the question for today. Obesity is a major problem in many countries, especially in developed nations. What are the problems obesity causes? Right? So here's our body paragraph 1. And what are some ways individuals and governments could reduce obesity rates? All right. So before we get started, let's just make sure I tell you, this essay is for a band 7 to 7.5. I will try my best to not use vocabulary that's too academic. But remember, you can check the information section below. There, you can see this essay and what score it would give and why. You can also see what a band 9 essay would look like. So same topic, same ideas, but much more academic. And you can see what a band 6 essay would look like. So please check out the PDF in the information section. This writing is really focusing on your ideas and structure. So we're going to focus on ideas, how to present your ideas. The biggest problem I saw as an examiner was people actually have good enough vocabulary, good enough grammar, but they misunderstand the question or their ideas are just not good. So one of the best ways you can prepare for an IELTS test is have lots of different ideas about lots of different topics. Okay. As far as grammar and vocabulary, that is for you to learn. Okay. This is kind of your responsibility. This lesson is focusing on writing style, learning the language. That's for other videos for another day. All right. Let's get started and write that essay. All right. Well, let's get started. First, we can see the question here again. And again, we want to make a plan. And I mentioned this in all of my videos, but you really should spend about 10 minutes making a good plan before you get writing. The number one complaint I always hear is, teacher, there's not enough time. And I say, there's lots of time. It's just your ideas were not that good, or you weren't ready, or you just don't write well enough. Okay? Because think about it. You have 40 minutes to write the task 2. If you spend 10 minutes making a plan, you still have 30 minutes to write. And if you write 10 words per minute, which is not fast, you will write a 300-word essay. Now, and that would be more often than not, depending on how good your writing is, that should be enough for a band 6 or 6.5. Now, let's say you write 15 words per minute. Still not that crazy. Well, now you're up to 450 words. Again, in a good, well organized, everything makes sense kind of essay. Now you're talking about a band 8. Okay. So again, people don't want to hear it, but the truth is 40 minutes is plenty of time to write an essay if you're ready, if you know how to write. Okay. So let's get started. First, we're going to focus on what are the problems obesity causes, right? So this is our solution. I'm going to focus on this from a society point of view. All right. Now, some of you might want to focus on it from, like an individual, like it causes health problems or it makes people depressed, right? Or it can cause social problems, like, maybe they don't want to meet their friends, or it could cause problems with dating. But IELTS prefers you to focus on more of like a society problem, right? And, if we're going to make a quick list of problems it causes, well, we can go with healthcare costs, reduced economic productivity, resources not being used well in healthcare, increased depression, unhealthy expectations about how to live from obese people. Now, I'm probably not going to use this one, but some of you might realize, countries like America or England, the obesity rate is much higher. And there's a lot of people online saying it's okay to be fat. And, personally, I disagree. I guess if you want to be unhealthy or fat, that's your choice, but let's not lie, right? It's like smoking. Not good for you, so probably not do it. Anyway, so here's a list. The magic number is 3. I'm definitely going to keep healthcare costs, right? So healthcare costs are higher, okay? Reduced economic productivity, absolutely, right? People are slower. They get sick, more sick days. It's not good. And I'm also going to go with increased depression. So I'm going to stick with the 3 easier ones. Well, easier to me, I should say. Okay, but I could say the more common ones. Now we need to think of some solutions, right? And again, I'm going to focus on this more from a society, right? Now, it does say individuals, but IELTS does prefer governments. Now, individuals, you could say, people need to diet, they need to do more exercise. These are all very valid things to say. But again, I'm going to focus more on what people could do. And again, kind of focus on that. So, kind of campaign kind of style, right? Better education on eating healthier, using healthcare financial support for preventative care, more community programs for exercise, more emphasis on better food in schools and at workplaces, reducing junk food or fast food advertising. Now, I'm just trying to think what would be best. Better education, financial support. I'm going to go, again, they're all good points. I think I'm going to stick with these 3, especially in schools. And just to make my life a little easier, I'm going to reduce it to schools because it's still, my thinking is if kids eat healthier at school, then they're more likely, to carry these habits as they get older, right? It's kind of part of the education system. Okay, now let's get started with the writing. Now, in all my videos, I like to show you what's okay and what's better for your introduction. All right, so here, this is what a lot of websites will teach you, right? Obesity, you could say like has become a serious issue, right? Change this to issue around the world, right? Especially in, say rich, well, especially in, you could say wealthier, but I'll keep it easy here, rich countries. And now we have to say, there are right, many problems obesity causes. We'll go back here, change this. This essay will outline the problems obesity causes and some possible solutions to help reduce this. I'll use a big word, I'm sorry, but epidemic. Okay, so we'll go with the big word there. Okay, but again, this is okay. But when examiners read this, they're not overly excited. They're probably expecting you to be a 5.5. Does it mean you get a 5.5? No, but first impressions matter. Okay, to make a better first impression, make it personal. Talk about your country, right? So, if you're in India, you might want to say, as India becomes a more wealthy nation, it is also suffering from an increase in the number of obese individuals. This is a problem that is seen around the world, especially in other wealthy nations. And this essay will outline some of the causes of this epidemic and propose some possible solutions. Period. Better. Okay? Make it personal. Talk about this should be wealthier, right? Talk about your country. Talk about your situation. Maybe you have a family member that's obese. Definitely in the introduction, giving it that little personal touch really, really does make a difference. Okay? Now it's time to get into body paragraph 1. And what's body paragraph 1? Well, we go and talk about the health problems obesity causes. Obesity can be linked to a number of health problems for society. Now, this is good enough, but remember, we can make this a little bit better. We made a plan, right? Healthcare costs, reduce economic productivity, increase depression, right? Right? So, linked to a number of problems for society, right? With the top 3 being, increased health costs, reduced productivity, and increased mental illness. Now your topic sentence is perfect because the reader knows you are going to mention these 3 things in your body. It shows you're planned. Let's go. All right. I'm going to start with, in other videos, I always start with the strongest one. You don't always have to. If I was going to start with this one, this is my strongest point. I would say first and foremost. But I'm going to start with increased depression. Okay, so we're going to go with this. Increased depression, increased numbers of people report feeling depressed nowadays. And one of the main reasons for this is obesity. Being overweight often leads to low self-esteem, and this is harmful to the overall happiness of a society, period. We can do here first, and we can do increased numbers of people are feeling, and then here, being overweight So this is all part of the first point. Okay, so here first, there we go. Right now we move on to our second point, right, which is here reduced economic productivity. Now this one could be a little longer. Another more serious problem is reduced productivity in the workforce. Period. When an increased number of people are obese, comma, this leads to more illness, which means more people need to take time from work. Okay? And that's the second one. So another major serious problem is, okay, so there's the second one, right? And then this leads when people, number of people, okay, so this is where, and this is another connecting word, all to make that point of the productivity. Okay? Next one is healthcare costs are higher. The most serious problem is that there are increased health costs, period. When people are obese, this leads to more chronic illnesses, which means more money needs to be raised and spent by the government for doctors and hospitals. And there's our third point, right? And the most serious problem, there. We'll mark that with blue. And here is our point. Let's see how many words this is. Okay, it's 135. That's great. Now, if that looks a little scary, remember, you're trying to get like a band 6 or 6.5. Well, this is 97 words. Very possible you can write a body paragraph that's around 100 words. But if you're going for something higher, this is what we're shooting for. Okay. Now, in our next body paragraph, we need to write the solutions, right? And here they are here. There are a number of solutions that could mitigate the obesity problem. Now, first, I know this is a big word, but this is a word I'd like you to memorize, okay? Mitigate means reduce, and there is many chances you could use this in your writing or in your speaking. It just means you take a problem and you make it happen less, right? So we'll put a period there for now. Again, this is our topic sentence. Very, very important. You need this, but we could make it a little better, right? We could say better education, right? Better food at schools and reducing junk food, advertising, right? And we could do this, mitigate the obesity problem. And the top 3 solutions would be, okay, so would be better education, comma, healthier foods in schools, and less marketing of unhealthy foods. Now, it's a little long, but that would be like a perfect topic sentence. All right. So let's get into that. First, we're going to talk about better education. To begin, comma, there should be more education in schools and perhaps even more public campaigns on TV to educate people on the importance of eating healthy food. Statistics show that most people only receive a few classes of education regarding food when they are at school, and this is often forgotten as they get older. So that's the first one. The second one, we said we were going to focus on, right, better foods in schools. And, they said education. Well, related to this could be offering better food choices at schools. Research shows that when young people develop good eating habits, this will naturally carry on into their adult lives. And apologies, I need to go back and just, mark the first one, right, to begin. Then here, statistics show, right, that's a great expression. Is it true? Maybe. It sounds true, but you don't have to. Related to this is the second point, kind of similar. Better food choices. Research shows, okay, and then this makes my point sound much stronger. Now, the final point we wanted to focus on was reducing junk food, fast food advertising. Lastly, governments could create more regulations on the types of foods that are allowed to be advertised. Most people see a lot of fast food advertising on TV, on billboards, and in many other locations, which makes this food look very attractive. And that could be our third point, right? And there's lastly, right? So this is showing where our third point will come in. And this is the point that leads into our last one. So let's see how long this paragraph is now. Probably going to be, around 150. So it's 157. Again, this is for a band 7.5 or 7 or higher. Remember, if you stop writing here, well, now you're at 115 words. A little bit high. But remember, this is still a good topic sentence. This is better, but this does take a few more words, right? Actually, this takes a lot more words, 19 to be exact. So imagine, if we cut out these 19 words, make your topic sentence a little shorter, well, now you're down to 100 words, okay? Because a lot of people watching this video, they only need to get a 6 on, 6 is enough to go to university. So, if you need to make your life a little easier, save a little time, that's what you, okay? But this, I just want to show you the best way, to write an essay. Now, the final thing we need to do is a conclusion. Now, the easiest thing you can do in a conclusion is just summarize what you've already said, right? So, in conclusion, the main problems caused by obesity is increased healthcare costs, reduced productivity, and increased depression. These problems could be solved with better education, healthier food options, schools, and reduced advertising. Right? So that would be enough, right? And then you would probably get a good score for this. But if you want to get a better score, in your conclusion, you can make a suggestion, a prediction, a call to action, okay? In my other videos, I usually do like a prediction or a suggestion. I'm going to go for the call to action, right? I believe it's very important for the government to start spending more money on creating awareness to reduce obesity. So there's a suggestion or a call to action, right? And then, we could do a prediction. If there is more emphasis placed on decreasing obesity, People will be happier, comma, productivity will increase, and there will be more money to spend on other areas of society, period. There. Now it looks a lot nicer. So that's the conclusion. Okay, and let's just check how many words it all is. In all, we got 425. Okay? A little bit long, but remember, our conclusion could be finished right about here. Just if we made our conclusion that much shorter. 34, 82, well, that's 50 words gone right there. So reduce the conclusion. The reason I made the conclusion is you check your watch or you check the time. You've got a little bit more, well, write more. Okay. Make sure you guys check the information section. In there, you'll see a similar essay, but a band 6. So it'll be a little shorter. The words will be easier. The grammar will be a little bit easier, right? And also, there'll be a band 9 essay with, lots of academic expressions, more complex grammar, and you can see what that looks like. All right. Now, remember, you have to keep practicing, keep thinking. And if you'd like me to help you with your writing, please check the information section below. My email is there. But otherwise, I wish you the best of luck on your next IELTS test. See you next time.